Hello viewers, welcome to our channel Education for Everyone. And this is the fourth video of this video series related to interview questions on computer networking. And if you are here for the first time, please go through all the other videos related to this video series. And if you want this presentation which I am using in this video, please go through the link description of this video. Alright, so let's start with the first question of this video, that what are the disadvantages of RIP, means routing information protocol. So the disadvantages are, firstly, as it is dynamic routing protocol, it increases the traffic of the network because it is using Bellman-Ford algorithm. Okay, and for this the maximum hop count is just 15, not more than 15 routers can be used or can be taken into account in RIP at a time. Okay, so this is one of the disadvantages. And the closest path may not be the shortest. So inside Bellman Ford there is one disadvantage, that when we are using Bellman Ford in RIP, sometimes closest path may not be the shortest path. Okay, and RIP only updates neighboring nodes. Okay, so what will this router do? It will notify all the other routers which are there in the neighborhood of this router that my state is changed and you also have to change your state. So all the neighboring routers will change their state, but all the other routers which are there in the network will not get notified instantly. Suppose this is router and these are the neighboring routers for this router. So these routers will get notified instantly, but all the other routers which are there in the network, they will not get notified. So these are the disadvantages of RIP, and I'll teach you RIP in the next video. So keep calm and name some applications of UDP. So there are different applications which uses UDP. One of them is dynamic host configurational protocol, which are used to provide IP in the network. So these are using UDP. Okay, user datagram packet. And in the same way, network news protocol, which is used to share articles and news around the network. So for this, network news protocol also uses UDP. And for the synchronization of clocks between the server and the client, network time protocol is used. It is also known as NTP. Okay, NTP. And we all know domain name server, it uses UDP type of message protocol for the packet delivery. And what is 4G and LTE? So most of people confuse between what is 4G LTE, what is the difference between 4G and LTE. So let me tell you that LTE is based on 3G technique. Okay, but 4G is the successor of 3G. Okay, so we can see here that 4G technologies are designed to provide IP based voice. So for why these are designed? To provide IP based voice. And there are two implications to for a network to be 4G, that it has to provide 1 gigabit of speed for the people who are just means walking, and 100 megabit per second who are commuting in vehicles. Okay, but what is LTE? It is a technology which is based on the 3G technique, and it is used to provide up to 10x the speeds of 3G networks. It is built on the top of 3G networks, and it is enhancing some speeds, and it also means supports it was designed to support smartphones, tablets, netbooks, notebooks, and wireless hotspots to support internet. Okay, and it is also known as long term evolution. So this is the difference between 4G and LTE. Now name some multimedia streaming technique. So there are different multimedia streaming techniques, but three of them are the most common, which is UDP streaming with the help of UDP packets, HTTP streaming, and adaptive HTTP streaming. So UDP streaming is not valid or not legal in India, but some sites even illegal these are using UDP streaming, but UDP streaming is most common in China. Now, further from the previous slide, so what is Dash? Okay, so it is increment of adaptive streaming, as we had discussed in previous slide, that adaptive HTTP streaming. So Dash is the increment of adaptive streaming. Okay, so what it will give? It will provide us many capabilities, like go on to any minute or any length of the video, and the streaming will go from there only. Okay, so suppose there is a video of 5 minutes. Okay, so and you are starting the video on 0 minute. Okay, and as soon as you start the video, the streaming will be done. Let's say for 1 minute streaming is done, and you want to jump on fourth minute of the video. Okay, so this technique allows us to stream the video or stream any type of content from this fourth minute only, and this length of the video will not be streamed. Okay, it will not be collected in the buffer. So this is the advantage of Dash, that it will take less amount of buffer. Okay, the second advantage is, according to your connection speed, it will change the video quality of the connection. Okay, so here it is written that client, it allows a client to adapt to the available bandwidth if end-to-end bandwidth changes during the session. So bandwidth here is the connection speed. So suppose if your connection is slow, then it will automatically change to 144p, and if your connection is high, it will automatically change to HD quality 720p or above that. Okay, so this is the capabilities given by Dash. Now, where is application buffer stored in Dash? So it is stored on client's side. Okay, and application buffer is stored in client's browser. So you need to remember that any type of buffer, it will be there in the client side. What is the difference between computers and servers? And my answer is, there is no difference between computers and servers. Servers are also the computers which have the extended capability, and for these servers there are special softwares and there are special hardwares too, which are suitable for server role. Okay, so that's why servers are also computers with the extended capability to provide server role. Okay, and Windows Server, there are different type of operating systems which are installed on the machines, on the computers, to act them as a server. Now, what is secure shell means SSH, and how does it work? So this is the diagram from where you can see that this host means this client wants to access his server, this remote server. So what it will do, it will make a connection. This is known as secure shell. Okay, so on this client machine, there will be a terminal which will be open, and it will make a request from this server to make a secure connection with the help of keys. Okay, so here you can see that it is trying to say hello, and with the help of encryption, it will go there, and also it will deploy a key, and it will decrypt the message and see that sender or client is sending some hello message. Okay, so this is the way uh, via which we can use any remote server. This is remote server from any end of the world. Okay, so let's suppose it is sitting in Karnataka, and it is the server resides in London. Okay, so what it will do, SSH provides a way in which this Karnataka user can use London's server. Okay, and why only TCP talks about reliability? So this is the question which most of the interviewers ask in the interviews, that why not UDP needs reliability? So the main answer, that UDP is mainly intended to enhance the performance and enhances the speed. Okay, it does not focus on reliability. Okay, in UDP, the user's intention was not based on reliability. His intention was to give maximum performance, maximum speed, and lesser buffer space should be used at the time of communication, but it is not the case in TCP. Okay, so that's why in the case of TCP it needs reliability, but in the case of UDP it intends to use the maximum performance, speed, and less buffer space. Okay, less memory should be used, but in TCP the main focus is on the reliability of the connection. Now this is the last question of this video, that what is tunneling. Okay, so tunneling, VPNs are most common terms in corporates. Some companies are using VPNs for their means what we can say connection and using of the network. So what tunneling will do, suppose there is a packet which we wants to deliver to another company, okay, which is remotely based on some other part of the world. So how we will send this private packet, we will encapsulate the data, this our message, intended message, into a public type of packet. So we can say this is public nature packet, okay, PNP. And using this is internet. Okay, so using this packet it will flow in the internet, and for this whole world, for this internet, this private packet will act as a public packet. Okay, and from here also it will go through this network, and it will act as PNP. And now this receiver will open this public packet and will fetch the private packet from this encapsulation. Okay, so what we are doing is that it is a protocol that allows for the secure movement of data from one network to another. Okay, so this is our one network, this is one public network, this is N2, and this is N3. Okay, this is N1. Okay, and tunneling involves allowing private network communications to be sent across a public network. So our public network is here internet, and encapsulation is used. So as I told you, one encapsulation is used to allow data packets to appear as though they are of public nature. So inside inside the internet, which is public network, it will act as a message of public nature, and in this way tunneling is done. And tunneling is also known as port forwarding. Okay, so that's all about this video. In next video we will start with DNS and how it works. Also guys, please like, share, subscribe our channel, please, so I can reach more number of viewers. And that's all. Meet you in the next video. Till then, thank you.